Yo, what is up, guys? It's Bankrupt Dope, back again with another video, and today we are back on some Chaos Zero Nightmare. Now, look, you can see by the title, this is going to be a very simple and straightforward video, okay? We got to talk about Diana and should you pull for it, right? It's as simple as that, right? Before we hop on anything, I hope you're having a good day today, and if you're not having a good day, hope your day gets better. You already know the drill. Now, look, the new character is here, right? She's here. And obviously the question is, should you summon for her? I'm gonna make it really easy, really simple, right? It's really nothing complex, right? So first off, there's things that you need to do as a player, right? So one of two things. First thing, you need to complete both of these things right here: the love gather at the wingtips, and then you need to do the where is it? Here we go. The virtual tactile simulation. You need to do both of those, right? Just to try the character, see if you like the character, right? And this is specifically people who are like, I'm down on my summons. I only have a couple left. Should I summon? Right. This is for this kind of person. Now, if you're a collector, obviously you're gonna summon anyway. So this is not out to you. This is for the person that's on the edge. So, like I said, you do your virtual tactile simulation, and then you do your love gather at the wingtips. If you found the gameplay for the character entertaining, now you take it to the next step, right? So you might have found that entertaining, right? The next question: do you have enough currency to get this character and then to proceed to get the next character that's coming after, who a lot of people are saying may or may not be unlimited? If you know you care for the possibility of a limited character and you know you for sure want to limit it, then I would just wait, right? Simple as that. Just wait. But let's say you do have the gems, right? Let's say you have the gems, you did the tactical, you tested the character. It's okay, I think the character's interesting. What next? You take it over to this tab over here. There are a few characters that give you the same like brain activity as a Diana would, right? So, for example, Luke is my favorite character in this game by far. He is the most. I have the most fun playing Luke, right? So, first one is Luke. If you like the way your Luke plays, if you like the way Renoa plays, oddly enough, Renoa is probably a closer comparison than Luke is, but this is more just for the sake of bullets. If you like the idea of 1-0 cost things and doing damage like that, that's the category I'm putting them in, right? So Renoa, Luke, Lucas, and then I would even say where you at Serenio, right? Like I said, these are all it's more of the one cost, like a more spammy kind of build. Even though you're mostly discarding, right? Like you're not necessarily spamming with Diane, but it's still the same effect of a lot of little things doing something massive. So that's where I think the dopamine comes in for this character in particular and all the other characters that I mentioned. So if you like the loot gameplay, you like the Renoa gameplay, and even Lucas gameplay, and I say Serenio, but the thing is, if you like those gameplay, you'll probably like Diana. Because guess what you can also do with Diana? You can mix them with the characters I mentioned. You can run Diana with Luke. You can run Diana with Renoa. You can run it with Lucas. That's the fun to it. You can probably run it with Serenio, because I'm pretty sure one of Diana like has something with like you can turn one of the cards. So you can essentially turn all of her lasers into what do you call it? Into one of her other cards, into one of Diana's other cards if you really wanted to. Like you could probably make something work here, believe it or not. So all that to say, if you enjoy the characters I mentioned and you find them very fun over the rest of them, then yes, go ahead and pick up the character. Now, if you do not like the characters I just mentioned, you don't find Renoa fun, you don't find Luke fun, you don't enjoy the bullet toss type of gameplay, then it's a skip. It is probably the easiest skip ever. Because so far we have a very particular kind of sets of like characters so far. We have bullet characters, we have the big hitters, and then we have the multi hitters, right? Those seem to be the main three, and then everything else is after the fact. So like just on the baseline, just extra attack, which would be like Hugo and Selena. They do extra attack, but there's just not many of like. They're really the only two, and there's not really a specific thing to them. Like more like their follow up. There we go, because they use the mark. They're like a follow up attack. There's just unfortunately not much support for that now in this current moment in history. So it'll become a gameplay style, but it's just not one yet, right? So the main play styles we have for damage anyway are big one hits like the Haru, obviously the 9, the where you at, the Rita, and then you have the multi hits. You have the multi hits. You got K-Ron's kind of like a hybrid. He could do a lot, but yeah, you got Meilin, you got Chizuru. Yeah, is that really it for multi hit? I'm really looking at DPS. I wish you could actually sort this by damage, but since everybody can do damage, you can't really do that. And obviously, you have all the supports in there, so I'm not really counting any of them. But yeah, it's a good little mix in here. And if you like the bullet characters, like I said, you go for your bullets. If you don't like the bullets, then go ahead and skip. Now, hold up. Is there a way I can filter this by acquired, or is this already set to acquired? It is already set to acquired, right? I think so. Because Rita should be up there. If Rita's up there, no, it's not set by acquired. I would love this to be a set by like the last characters I got. If I'm not mistaken, Diana and Rita are the next two. So it was. And it's also like I'm set this. This next part I'm going into is like I guess the order of operations, like what kind of characters you like. We can kind of predict if this character is supporting somebody, if they're going to get support, right? So the last season was Rita, Typhera, 9, right? Those were the 3. And then Narja was in the mid, right? She was in the mid season. Narja ended up being a useful support for arguably everybody in the game because she's providing heals, she's giving you a damage boost. She has something for basic cards, and she has something for big hits. And she just has something for normal hits. So she kind of just does everything, right? Especially with her predation stacks. So it's like Narja being the mid card supported everyone. It supported the front half, being the 9 in the what do you call it? The Rita, if you would like her to. But then you could also pair her, like I said, if you pair with Serena, you could pair her with who likes to do basics? Chizuru. Like you could go backwards with it. And this is where we are now with Diana. She's the middle character. So at this point, oddly enough, she's not supporting backwards, at least in the immediate previous season, because she's not really doing much with 9, Typhera, or Rita. She's doing more stuff. She has more synergy with somebody, like I said, Sereno and the other bullet cards. So, with that being said, it might just be safe. Like I said, if you're just on the border, it might just be safe to wait to know what the next character does, and then summon, because the banners will overlap. Do not forget that. The banners are going to overlap. So you don't have to summon and pick up Diana before the next character, because they will be running at the same time. So wait if you need to know if she's going to get a support or she is the support. Like just figure it out, right? They could throw a curveball at us, and it turns out Diana is a standalone character, and she's just here to buff the bullet characters, and the next 3 characters of the season are completely different. I don't want that to be taken off the table. Yes, we have a trend, but we have a trend of 2 seasons. So anything can happen here. Like I'm not gonna say, it's for sure it's written that all these characters are definitely gonna work together, because she's technically not a part of the season. So it's possible that she does not support the rest of the season. I think Narja only did because she was directly a supporter character, so she can just work in a lot of places. That is not the same for Diana. She is not a supporter. She is a DPS character. So just understand and just be patient. Biggest thing, be patient. If you do not have the summons to throw around, and that's your question, should I summon? Just be patient. Wait to see what the next character does, and if it turns out in any way that the characters are helping each other, then you can go ahead and decide if you want to summon. And if you like the playstyle, then go pick the character up. But if that's not the case, like I said, if the case is you don't have the pools, just wait. Just wait. Yeah. All right. I think I just said that. I just said that differently. So yeah, if you do not have the summons, I would suggest waiting to see if the characters have synergy. Because if they don't have synergy, you might want to skip Diana for that sole reason, right? Because at the end of the day, the characters all go to the standard pool anyway. So you just wait. And I know that's a hard thing. I know it's a lot easier said than done to say just wait for it to go to the standard and then summon the standards and save your standards. That is easier said than done. But worst come to worst, you skip, you wait for it to go to standard, and you just summon on the standard and hope that you pull it. Versus throwing your stuff at them now, and you don't even really like bullet characters, or you do like bullet characters, but the character ends up getting pushed out by the meta because once again, we just don't know what they're gonna do. And if she's just a standalone, you know, chances are that the next, if it's a completely different kind of playstyle, she might not be useful immediately, or I guess in the second half of the season. You know what I mean? So yeah, just keep all that in mind, and that's really it. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good should you summon. So like I said, just walk away with those key points. Try the character out. Do you have the currency to summon? And if you do have the currency, if you have the exact currency, just wait. Long story short, just wait. But like I said, if you have more than enough, but you're still on the edge, like I said, once again, you can just wait, see what the character does, and then there you can determine if you want to pick both of them up. But if you only know you can pick up one, wait to see what the next character does, if they have synergy, and if you like the synergy, and you really want to get Diana, just pick her up now. Or you pick her up once you know that, and then you could try to get the other character and just hope you have enough pulls by then. But if it's a thing of, okay, I'm really not that into Diana anyway, and I know that the other character is limited, and this character has this and this and that, then you just skip and go for that one. It's as simple as that. So more than anything, it's going to be a game of patience. You have to wait 10 days. Well, we don't even know if they're going to tell what kind of information they're going to give us in 10 days. Like, they could not tell us much, if I'm going to be honest. So ultimately, just be patient. We're in no rush right now. There is not a ton of things to do. There's things to do, but there's not a ton. So be patient. That would be my biggest advice. Just be patient if you are on the edge right now. That's all I got for you. Like the video if you liked it. Comment something down below. Let me know if you summoned for, if you didn't, if you skipped, if you liked, or you hate the character. And also hype the video. Because I think the only way my videos will ever do anything as a small channel, unless it's a immediate guide for like something small, my videos ain't gonna go nowhere. Like, it's gonna be, they're not ever gonna be shown on anybody's timeline because, like I said, we already know who the big three are of this game. So support me if you found anything useful or anything helpful. That's all I got for you. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.